Hi there, this is Anthony, and today's topic of discussion is in regards to Azimuthal Gamma configuration. And this applies to the situation where you're planning to generate an Azimuthal Gamma intensity chart from sector channels, which are called Azimuthal Gamma channels. This video is in regards to how do you make the Gamma software recognize those channels so that it can generate the plot. And this is how it's done. Normally, once you start up, this is the welcome screen that you'll get. And once there, just go local because you're gonna be working at the local field site. From here, be sure that the job is selected of interest, in which case mine is job ID 2617. Following that, click on More to expose further configuration features. Click on the System button and then select the results node, and by clicking the plus sign you will be expanding that node. At the bottom there you're going to see an entry called Azimuth Gamma sector tag names, and you need to create this list using a comma separated value, so the comma is your delimiter. Once you click on the cell for adding the data, you're going to be presented with a button. You click on the button, and from there you'll get this screen, which is the editor for Azimuthal Gamma channels. So what this tool allows you to do is to list the channels as comma separated channel names, and you need to choose which method you're going to use. You can use the add one by one, or you can add via a list. So let's say you want to go with the add one by one. The way this works, you simply select the channel of interest, let's say GV0, and then you select the next one in the order of the sectors from 0 to 360. So I'm going to select, let's say, GV1, and so forth and so forth. However, in my case, I will use the other method of adding the channels, which is faster, where you can select a list of channels that are relevant. Now, in my case, the channels are named GB8B_0 all the way to GB8B_7. You can select the first channel, and you can click on the shift key, hold it, and then you can select the last channel, and then you can add them together so that you get your comma separated list right there. If you make a mistake, you can always clear, and then you can repeat the procedure. If these channels are not sorted in order, if they're not in order, then you cannot use this method. You can only use this other method over here, where you can choose the channels to be added one by one. Note that on the left hand side you have two notes. One of them is that the scale and depth offset of the Azimuth Gamma channels will use scale and depth offset of the regular Gamma channel. So this means that whatever you assign as a scaling factor and depth offset for Gamma, those factors and depth offset, that factor and depth offset will be applied to the Azimuthal Gamma channels. Next, the intensity plot will be generated using the channels that you added here. So this is sufficient. This is all you need to do to make the Gamma software recognize what the channels are for Azimuthal Gamma logging, and what their order is in terms of the sectors from 0 to 360. So they need to be in that order. Once you're done over here, you can proceed to view how the intensity plot gets generated. So from here we'll proceed to see how the Azimuthal Gamma chart gets generated. We're going to click continue. So once you click continue, you'll be on the logging screen, and here you can see the sections that are part of the window. I'm going to draw your attention to the one that shows the plot. So this is a plot that shows channel 0 to channel number 3. These are the 4 channels. However, to be able to see the Azimuthal Gamma plot, you need to click on this button here, which is a tear off button. It will show 3 strips of the chart. So I'm going to click that, and I will be presented with this window that shows the three tracks, and the first 2 tracks have the channels from 0 to 3, that's 4 channels, and then from 4 to 7, that's 8 channels. So this is a 8-bin Azimuthal Gamma configuration. Immediately, the software will render the Azimuthal Gamma, Azimuthal Gamma intensity plot pertaining to these 8 channels. You can keep refreshing manually the view of the intensity plot by choosing a command here. I'm going to choose chart refresh. The other command of interest is the one that fine-tunes the appearance of the intensity plot, and this one you choose the menu that says Azimuth Gamma Chart Control Panel. You will be presented with 4 ways to configure your chart. So this is so that you have a comparative display and you can choose whichever is optimal. So you're still given an opportunity to change how that chart looks. For example, here I'm modifying the view of chart number 3, right? So I may decide that, okay, this is the kind of contrast I'm looking for that gives me the most the optimum view of the intensity plot. So you can choose that. And this one is for the yellow color, so you need to make sure that it's flooded. So usually the 0, in this case the 0 value is the one that seems to work. Once you're finished with that, you can just take a picture, and when you click done, it means chart number 3 is the one that's going to show over here on your intensity plot. So as you continue getting data, and this plot continues to generate, so it's going to be moving down with time. You can set it on auto refresh, or you can just go manually and choose to refresh the plot. In this case, I've done it manually again here, and that should give you the view of the chart. In this case, there's it's not lined up properly, so I'm just going to do refresh again, and now it's lined up properly. So as you go, you can get it to auto refresh. Like in this case, it's waiting for 50 seconds to refresh, and so that you don't have to keep refreshing it manually. So this is how easy it is to configure the Mezintel Gamma software to show you the intensity plot in real time as you keep on drilling at the job site. So next we will look at how to generate a PDF continuous strip chart for the traces. So here we have the 4 Azimuthal Gamma channels on track number 1 and the other 4 Azimuthal Gamma channels, and these will be shown on the PDF trace as well as the intensity plot. Before we proceed, it is prudent to click on the runs link to assure ourselves regarding the depth range for the job file, and this one is from 800 to 2115. So once we have observed that, we can now proceed to the print setup screen. So this is the print setup screen. The number 800 to 2115 is already filled in, and then there is the scale that is chosen for this kind of print job, which is 1 to 2000. And usually it's good to go with this higher scale value so that the plot looks with enough intensity and detail. If you go with the smaller scale numbers like this, the intensity plot will be magnified and it will lose its resolution. So it's opportune to go with these higher scale values, and the one that I find which works pretty good is the 1 to 2000. Then there's the major increment that works for this scale, which is 20, and the minor increment is 5. From here we can go continue, and we'll be presented with a print preview for the strip chart, and we can see here that there are 2 tracks showing the traces for the Azimuthal Gamma channels, and then the intensity chart is empty, but I can call it up by clicking on the get chart link here for the Azimuthal Gamma intensity chart. So this will take a little while because it's looking at the entire job length depth range, which is the 800 to 2115 meters. However, once that's done, I will see the intensity chart generated right here. So the intensity chart has now rendered itself on the third track, and we can scroll to see the rest of the chart, and to satisfy ourselves that the peaks are those darker regions of the intensity chart, which seems to be like it matches up pretty good. Once we're satisfied with that inspection, we can now print to get the strip chart, and this will give us the option of getting also a TIFF file alongside the PDF, and I'll proceed to print. Once printing completes, we'll be presented with three options. The middle option is the one of interest, which will open a PDF and the TIFF file for the print job, and I'll choose that one right there. And what the screen shows right now is Paintbrush that is showing the TIFF file, and I can scroll down to view the chart, and it looks like it's rendered itself pretty good here. Important is to check to see that the peak areas of the traces are the darker regions, and this looks like it matches up pretty good from this illustration here. So that looks like it's matching up pretty good. And then the PDF file is also there, and I can choose to show maybe 50%, so I can see a multi-page view of the PDF rendering of the intensity chart. And right there we can see that the intensity chart seems to have matched pretty good, and this completes getting a strip chart, a continuous strip chart out of the for the intensity chart and for the line traces, which are the first two tracks over there.